At one point in time, there was an underrated company called Factor 5, and before they made Star Wars Rogue Squadron, they made these amazing games. What's up everybody, Don here, and today we'll be tackling Super Turrican on the Super Famicom, or Super Nintendo. This was the first Turrican game to be released on consoles, and so far the only Turrican game to be released in Japan. All the other ones were released in America and Europe, but not Japan so far. It's strange. Anyway, the game tells a rather simplistic story of good versus evil. This guy, also known as the Machine, is conquering Katakis, which I misread as Katniss for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe I just have the Hunger Games on the mind or something. They freeze the people of this peaceful world in eternal enslavement. And also this guy right here that they showed, he's not even a boss fight in this game, he just kind of fucks off after this point on. There's something I need to tell you about this game. It is kind of unfinished. Like, they were about 80% done with the game, and then they switched cartridges. Like, this was originally supposed to be an 8 megabyte cartridge, but they switched to 4 megabytes for some reason. I don't know what happened, but they had to cut some stuff. Does that mean the game is bad? Hell no. This game is freaking amazing. You're gonna notice that a lot of levels just suddenly end for no reason. Like, there should be a boss fight where the level ends, but there isn't. You just go to the next level and that's it. That happens for a good 5 or 6 stages in this game, and there are really not that many stages in this game to begin with. Now, the game slightly makes up for the lack of levels in that the stages themselves are kind of big. I mean, there's a lot to explore, and you could potentially get lost in some of the later stages. But it's still not comparable to, say, the Turrican games on the Amiga. Specifically Turrican 2, you could get lost in those stages forever, and you'll still not find a way out. That game is just frustrating for all the wrong reasons. Anyway, Turrican guy here, which I think his name may or may not be Brent McGuire, if this is even the same character, he's got a whole bunch of different moves at his disposal. One of which is the freeze beam, a concentrated beam that fires 360 degrees around you, but it doesn't kill enemies, it only stuns them. Another move that Turrican can do is the wheel, which if you play Metroid, then yeah, it's the Morph Ball. It's Samus's Morph Ball, I'm calling it like it is. You are invincible when you do the Morph Ball, but you have a limit on how much you can do it. You see a little bar underneath the energy bar. And if that runs out, then you can't Morph Ball anymore. So good luck, cheater. And one more move that Brent McGuire / Turrican can do is the Line Bomb, which is kind of like a screen nuke, except not really because it's still affected by walls. I say it's more situational in this game than in the other games. I know for certain in Super Turrican 2 and Mega Turrican that it's just a flat out screen nuke, it's not affected by terrain or walls or stuff. And you also have 3 different weapons at your disposal. The red shot I'm carrying right now is a spread shot, and is probably the best weapon for general usage. The blue shot is a laser, and it destroys enemies really quickly if you concentrate on them. And the yellow shot is the bounce shot, which is kind of situational, but it's really good for enemies above you. And there's also the personal shield you can pick up, but kind of like in Contra, it works on a time limit, so 10 to about 15 seconds later, you'll lose the shield. The next stage is to the right, but I'm going to go left instead because there are more secrets to find, and I also hate going with the norm. The soundtrack is insane. If you never heard of Chris Hulsbeck before, but sorry, you've been missing out. This man is a genius. Definitely one of the best video game composers of the 1990s. The only other composers from the 90s I think I can compare to Chris Hulsbeck is definitely Naboo Uematsu and Yuzo Koshiro. And Chris Hulsbeck isn't really making that much video game music nowadays. I'm kind of sad about that. What was his last project? Oh, the new Bubsy game. Oh. Well, at least the music was good. Now, this Turrican game implores you to explore everywhere. You'll find all sorts of hidden treasures and gems and gunpowder and secrets and hidden lives. But you gotta be careful of the timer. Oh, that's right, they trick you into thinking you have all this freedom, but you don't really at all. If the timer hits 0, you self-destruct and you start back at a checkpoint. Got a shield, now I can just run through everything. You saw that extra life up there? Just jump up these columns and jump for it. It's that simple. And there's yet another one up to the right. And this one is a tad bit more complicated to get, but not really. You just have to bounce off one of these droids. One up. Love the voice samples in this game. Granted, there's only 2 of them, but they sound so clear it doesn't really matter. Now this stage is another straight shot. There are a couple of winding pathways that will take you to secrets, but nothing too strenuous. I'm gonna need the laser for this one, it just cuts through enemies quickly. There we go. Don't get the bounce, don't get the... Oh! Okay, maybe it'll work here. The bounce is a weaker shot, but it has the benefit of rebounding off of surfaces. Not my number 1 choice of weapon. It's not even my number 2 choice of weapon, to be honest. But it gets the job done just fine. Bow, Piranha! And yet another extra life. Man, this game is giving you 1-ups out the ass! But that's whether or not you choose to look for them, that is. Now, there are 2 exits in the stage. You can either continue right, or fall down the waterfall and get into the alcove on the left. If you continue right, you'll miss the extra life. Alright, here's stage 1-3, the volcano. It's another linear stage like the previous levels, but it gives you plenty of power-ups along the way. And also, I am making a note that I am playing this game on hard. And if you die on hard mode and you lose a continue, that's it. It's just one continue and it's back to the title screen. So the plentiful lives are definitely worth getting. You also take more damage on hard mode too. I think it's like 3 or 4 hits and then you're dead. And yeah, losing a life does suck, but at least it starts you in the same place you died from, so that's good that way. Oh, they lost their minds with the soundtrack. It doesn't even make sense how good it is. It's not even just this version of the soundtrack. There's also the Amiga version of Turrican. Well, it's Turrican 3, technically. And then there's also the Sega Genesis version of that game too, and all their soundtracks are excellent. It plays to the strengths of each of the respective console's sound hardware. And you know how one console sounds superior over the other one? This is not the case. I'm genuinely split on which console version is better than the other one in terms of sound. Yeah, you got the Amiga and Genesis versions, which sounds more mechanical, but it kind of adds to the dark atmosphere. But you also got this version which sounds very jovial and happy, and I love everything. It feels good to shoot shit today. And we got this, I wouldn't even call this a boss. What? It's just a endurance round. This is what I was talking about earlier. There obviously should have been a boss here, but instead it's just flying space rocks. And don't get me wrong, I love me some flying space rocks. The Empire Strikes Back is still one of my favorite movies of all time, but as a boss, no. And here's the second half of Stage 1C. We throw magma into the equation. The good thing is you can just use your shield to bypass most of the magma. And even the morph ball can bypass the magma too. And you know, looking at this is a really weird year for climate change. I mean, it's snowing in California, and it's hot in the south. Well, it's always been hot in the south, but still, it's snowing in California. They need some of this. Anyway, you want to be careful not to destroy that platform because there are some goodies to the right. Ah yes, a 1-up with a free laser power-up, part of a balanced Turrican breakfast. Now you can continue to the left where the rest of the stage is, or go to the right. It's not a 1-up this time, but it is a free shield power-up. I always love to get the shields in this game just so I could speed run through the most dangerous parts. Like right here. You want to watch out for these stalactites. They'll fall from the ceiling if you get too close underneath them. Stalactites, right? Or stalagmites. I think the ones growing from the ceilings are stalactites. Okay, never mind. I don't know. Anyway, we're getting close to the end of the stage. This is the last, lava river flow, if you will. And I'm pretty sure the ground is just made up of skulls. Like it's Terminator 2 or something. My god, that's kind of morbid. Oh god, it's even more noticeable here. Anyway, here's the stage boss, and he is stupidly easy. Look at me, you can just stand on his gun and shoot him in the face. It's that simple. He's usually harder in other games, but not in Super Turrican. He's pathetically easy. Yeah! I think I got all the secrets there. Oh no, I missed a couple. Damn. Oh well, I'm not playing for 100% completion. Oh, and suddenly cowbell. Welcome to stage 2, the factory. This stage is where the stage design gets a bit more branched out. And also where the music becomes slightly darker a bit. Well, there's this tune which sounds kind of jazzy, but the next tune coming up sounds like Chrono Trigger music or something. You gotta be wary of the steam because that might eventually turn into fire and that will hurt you. And you also gotta watch out for the pistons coming out of the ground too. They'll also knock some health away from you. And this stage is also the introduction of bottomless pits in this game. You fall into those, you die in one hit. Let's steal a secret from up here. You're going to spawn a platform by using the freeze beam, and should be an extra life up here. Or maybe I was mistaken. Oh well, a few chaos emeralds never hurt anybody. Unless if you're Robotnik, but regardless. The gems you collect in this game are strictly for points. I don't think they have a specific use to them. I'm not even sure if you can get extra life through points in this game. You want to take your time with this section. There's going to be plenty of fire just waiting to burn the hero alive. And I just got another rebounding shot. Oh, this is really not a good place for this weapon. Oh, let's just use a bomb or something. And hopefully grab a better weapon than the rebound shot. And I just grabbed the rebound shot again. God damn it.
Power up.
Nice, I just grabbed the health refill. Your health is indicated by that meter on the top right portion of the screen. You got 3 phases of health, or... No, actually it's 4 because I'm seeing orange. You have at least 3 hits until you reach condition red, and if you take one more hit after that, you die. I'm actually gonna grab the laser power up here because some of these enemies are tankier. I ripped this off from Samus! And Sonic the Hedgehog, because the way you activate it is more like Sonic than it is Samus. It even does damage to enemies when you touch them. Ah, great, now the fire's out of sync. Wonder if I could get through. Nope, I just got denied. There we go. Maybe the flames weren't out of sync, I just had to be patient. Okay, we should be coming to stage 2-2, or 2B. Hey, I made a near automata reference. And this place is eerie. Not only because music sounds more suspicious, but also the stage is really short but also maze-like, so I'm gonna take the quick way out.
One up.
I swear, that part of the music where the piano kicks in sounds a lot like Chrono Trigger. Or it's the other way around, because this game predated Chrono Trigger by about 2 years. Anyway, you have to jump up these platforms and not get crushed. Oh god, that was close. Okay, now everything becomes chipper again with this song. And this level is a bit more dangerous than the previous ones. You got these turrets that are installed on the ledges so they can shoot you down, and now these assholes jump from the ledges to try and kill you. And this level introduces some tricky platforming. And don't worry, the game will continue with the tricky platforming motif. This song is exclusive to the Super Nintendo Super Turrican soundtrack. You won't find it in Turrican 3 or Mega Turrican soundtracks at all. Kinda disappointed that there's no Sega Genesis or Amiga rendition of this song, but then again it probably wouldn't have worked with those sound chips. Oh great, it's this section. Now you have to make these tight jumps while running on conveyor belts. The thing about this game is, while you're falling off the platform, you still have 1 or 2 frames to actually make a jump. So if you're quick enough, and I mean super quick, and you press the button on time, you can still make a jump even though you fall off the platform. This is one of the few games where it lets you jump after it looks like you've fallen off the platform. Castlevania Symphony of the Night does that too, and you could use that to your advantage in that game. Oh good, the shield. I could just speed run through this part so fast. Everybody dies today. The shield in this game is 20 seconds of overpoweredness. Or 10 seconds. I haven't counted how much the shield lasts for. I think it's 10 seconds though. Alright, we get past this fire and there's gonna be a stream of... I don't know what this is. Ecto Cooler or Mountain Dew? I don't know what the hell this is. Wait, my extra life, come back! Come back, I need you! Even though I don't really need you because I have 50 more extra lives. Oh my god, again, this game is very generous with the extra lives, if you look for them. But then again, all the Turrican games, except for maybe Super Turrican 2, they're extremely generous with extra lives. I love the sounds the droids make when they get stomped on the head. Alright, so we should be making it to the end of the stage where there's a boss. There's actually a boss at the end of the stage. Kind of like the last stage actually, but still, so this is a rarity. And here's the boss. He's definitely something, alright. I don't even think I need to explain this guy and how simple he is. That is his pattern. That is his honest-to-God pattern. As long as you're standing underneath those two construction floors, you're not going to get hit. Or if you use Morph Ball mode, of course. I do like the fact that the face gets bigger and bigger the more you shoot him, but still not that intimidating. So yeah, this boss is also lame. Kind of like the first boss. You can see where I'm going with this. And away with you! Hopefully I can find a boss that will make up for this disappointing nightmare of a fight. Anyway, I'll see you in part 2, which is the finale.